this is the extra for this week, because I'm finishing this week. Apart from, I've got one more video about the best of. I've also got a video with Naz and a podcast coming out next week about the best physical media and things we've seen that are not from this year. So there's two kind of best of years, but I'm kind of stopping after this anyway for the Christmas period. So I thought I'd do an extra one, just one final video, because I thought of it over the weekend. I thought that'd be a good fun one to do. So it's top 10 late 80s, early 90s films seen only in video shops or direct-to-video things. Now, this is in Britain. In Britain, we got films that were released in America on the cinema, if briefly, and then was brought over here. And these films are kind of, they may have got a very token release here. I mean, there's one or two films here I know got a token release, but the films didn't really make an impact until they hit video. And that's where they made their money and made their impact. And so that's where I'm talking about. It's like films I watched in video that you could barely see in the cinema. Like if you lived outside of the main towns, you would not see these films. You know, you had to have been in a big city to see these films anyway. Otherwise, they would have been gone. But they really made their mark in the video shop. That's where everyone saw them. And basically, no one would talk about them existing at all until they hit the video, and then people said, have you seen this one? Have you seen this one? It's like, now if you came in the 80s, most of the stuff you saw was in video, and most of the energy came from videos at that time. Because in the 90s, people would start to come back to the cinema a bit more, starting in the early 90s, and that became the energy again. But in the 80s, in the early 90s, there was still a video generation of seeing tons of stuff in the video shop. Like grabbing 3 films and for one night, just splurging through them. These are the kind of films you'd watch then. So here we go. Number 10, Prince of Darkness, a John Carpenter film. It's just so much fun. It's got particle physics. It's got Satan as goo. It's got zombies. It's got everything, and it is creepy. There's a creepy ending that creeped me out. Creeped a few other people out that I saw it with, because it was one of those ones I saw as a student with a bunch of other fellow students watching it in front of a small TV, and it really worked on us. So that's Prince of Darkness. That it works. It's one of those creepy films that the critics disliked, but when you actually saw it with other people, everyone's like, that's kind of creepy, actually. There's some problems in the film, but that's quite creepy, some of this stuff. There's a thing about seeing this image that repeats and repeats and repeats, and it got people going and talking about it like afterwards. So that's number 10. Number 9 is Leviathan. This was the underwater film sensations. In the late 80s, you had The Abyss coming out, so there was lots of low-budget rip-offs, because James Cameron just made Aliens, so whatever else he did next is going to be ripped off before it was even released. So, because it was underwater film, we had Leviathan, which is an underwater alien. You had Deep Star 6, which is another underwater alien. You had a bunch of other ones too that Roger Corman had, and so Deep Star 6 is bloody awful, but quite enjoyable for being bloody awful. Leviathan is much better. It does have a film, is Josh Cosmatos directed it, Peter Weller stars in it. It does have a bunch of actors, you'll know their faces. It does have a plot that's kind of stupid, but that's part of the joy of the film. It's kind of stupid. It's got that kind of feel of, old-fashioned, trashy, films, and it's just wonderful. And I've seen it, I won't watch it for a decade type of way, but you talk to your friends about some of the crazy stuff you saw in it and how tasteless it was, and it's just that kind of film. It's a perfect direct-to-video film. So number 8, we have The Punisher. We've got another Dolph Lundgren coming up as well. Punisher is the first version of The Punisher. And to me, it's still the best one. It's still the most enjoyable one. Like, I did like the Ray Stevenson one, even though apparently if you're a fan of the comic, it's an abomination in every possible way. And apparently this one's an abomination in every possible way. But, to be honest, didn't really read The Punisher, so I don't really have the kind of bias. I can just watch the films. All I know is the Thomas Jane one was boring as hell. The Ray Stevenson one was ridiculous and stupid, but really enjoyable for being ridiculous and stupid. And this one, I had a blast with. It is very 80s. Mark Goldblatt directed it, who's the editor on a bunch of films you've seen. He worked for James Cameron a lot. Dolph Lundgren's The Punisher. The thing about Dolph Lundgren as an actor is, yes, he may not be give the greatest range, but he's always trying. You always see commitment in his performances, so he is fun. And the villains are cliched, but they're also very enjoyable. It's just a fun film, but it's an 80s film. I think if we showed this to someone who grew up in the 2000s, they'd say, "What the hell is this? What is this?" You're watching. I think you had to be there to enjoy some of the trashiness of it all, which I did and I still do. I've got the umbrella version from Australia, which has some nice extras. So Punisher was good fun. Number 7 is another Dolph Lundgren. It is I Come in Peace. This is a film that I watched over the weekend. This inspired this list. It's also called Dark Angel. Dolph Lundgren is a cop whose partner gets killed by an alien. This is basically Predator 2 before Predator 2. It came out before Predator 2, but it's a cop trying to kill an alien. But this time the alien's actually a drug dealer who steals heroin and then processes it through the human brain to get this other substance that can sell on the alien market. And if Dolph Lundgren doesn't kill him before he escapes the Earth, the other aliens in his society will find out that this drug is amazing, and they will all start to come to harvest it in the planet. So it's the end of the world in a miniature. He's also got a partner, Brian Benben, who's a FBI guy who goes by the book. Betsy Bradley plays his love interest, coroner. It's one of those films is the actual script is very cliched. There's some scenes early on that are, past the cliche dialogue. And there's nothing here that's really new, but the actors have fun with it. And the director's having fun with it. Craig Bexley did Stone Cold and Action Jackson, and was a stunt coordinator in Predator. And he managed to avoid doing some of those A-team. You need to watch the A-team, and when they first went to the movies, they don't do some of the shots of people blowing up and floating in slow motion. But he stopped that by now. And this film is just a blast. It's ridiculously stupid, but really enjoyable. And you could easily do a remake or a series of remakes of this one and have some fun with it. But the actual fact is the cast, even though they've got ridiculous things to say, they play off each other well. They have fun. They know they're in a cliched film, but you can see them enjoying themselves and playing off each other. And it's one of those things where the cast understood exactly what film they're in, and them and the director seem to understand. They can have some fun with this one, and it transfers over when you're watching it. It's just an enjoyable, silly film. So number 6 is Rampage, which I covered a few weeks ago. Wilfred Friedkin. This film dropped dead in cinemas because it wasn't released properly. But in Britain, we got it in video pretty quickly. I remember getting it in video. It was through Fox, and that's how I saw it. And it was in video really fast, and it was a video hit. Not like the same level as Batman or something, but it was something you could easily see, and you'd be say, have you seen that one? That's a creepy film. It's that kind of film. That's the creepy film. What's it called? Rampage? Yeah, I'll try and correct it. It's that kind of film that was kind of hidden, but always in the video store shops. And I'm going to ask you, is anything creepy? Try Rampage. It's that kind of feel to it. Number 5, The Blob. This was the remake of The Blob. This is a whole lot of fun. This is almost the standard definition of this category. The film came out, bombed horribly everywhere, had great special effects, but no one wanted this film. And then it came out in video, and everyone who could not see the film because it was an 18 could suddenly see it in video because they could just ask their older brother or their dad or someone to get it out for them. And round the schoolyard is like, have you seen The Blob? It's amazing. It's that film, you know. People describing all the stuff, all the gory stuff. That's how Nightmare on Elm Street got bigger and bigger so quickly as well. It's like, you couldn't see it in the cinema because it's too young, but then as soon as it his video, people got to see it quickly and say, have you seen this bit? Have you seen that bit? That's pretty gruesome, isn't it? The Blob is the epitome of that. Schoolyard, have you seen this sick thing? This is amazing. It's like, yeah, the Blob had no chance of succeeding because all its viewers were waiting for it in video. Right. Number 4 is Bad Taste. This is a film I saw. It's Peter Jackson's first film. It's an alien invasion in New Zealand. It's got really dark humour, lots of gory special effects, and it was done for almost no money. And I watched it 4 times when I first saw it. When we got it, and I saw this as a student, when we got the video rental, we watched it, and then we watched it again. And then we watched it again because we kept on saying, because we started off saying it was like only 2 was watching it, and then it's like, everyone else, you got to see this. So other people come in, and we watched it again, and then by the time we'd seen it again, other people would arrive because I was in this student house thing. Have you seen this? You've got to come and see this. This is insane. And then just before we had to take it back, after coming back from classes, like, we have to watch this one more time before we take it back. Because it's so excessive, you can't believe what you've seen, and it's wonderful. And it'll never be as good as that 4-time viewing that when I first saw it, because no one had a clue what the hell it was. Speaking of which, Lair the White Worm is number 3. Ken Russell, Amanda Donoghue as a crazy vampire, a young Peter Capaldi and a young Hugh Grant, and a ridiculous plot to kill this vampire who's tagged as White Worm, based on Bram Stoker novel was the last one when he was dying, and probably on God knows what drugs. Directed by Ken Russell, thinking, what the hell, let's go crazy. This is the epitome of, I don't care, I'm going to be tasteless as possible. And it's a perfect film that came out in the cinema and people said, have you seen this? That's weird. Because they didn't even try and hide the effects and make them look good. They just make them cheesy as possible. But it's perfect for video, because when you watch it in video, it's like, I understand the tone of this movie exactly. I get this completely. So there's that kind of movie. So that's great. Number 2 is The Hidden. Another alien invasion movie that came and went and then hit video. Kevin MacLachlan, just off Twin Peaks, is an alien. And he's part of a human. He comes in as a guy who is coming to... He's a parasite who infects a human being to help them hunt down this other alien who's infecting human beings. The alien I'm trying to catch is a criminal, and he's a cop. Kim Clacklin's character's a cop, trying to track him down before he causes too much damage. It's just as insane as it sounds. It's just an excuse to do as much crazy stuff as possible. So the director of Nightmare on Elm Street 2, this is a riot. This is a pure riot. Because one, Kim MacLachlan at that time looked just weird. He was just off Twin Peaks and Blue Velvet. And he's perfect casting as a guy who's possessed by an alien. And the other guy with him is very normal, so he has to deal with that. This crazy alien and this crazy alien plot. And the alien the actual bad alien enjoys having fun, driving fast cars, destroying the bodies, knowing that he can just move to another body. It's just having a ball. It's like having like an alien version of a massive bender over one weekend, destroying everything. It's totally tasteless, but very enjoyable sci-fi. This is just so much fun. This is the epitome of why you enjoyed walking from the video shop. You discover films like this. Right, number 1 is obvious, it's They Live. Now this got a theatrical release in America, but it made its mark on video. And the same thing in Britain. I think it got a very token release. I was looking for it and I never saw it. It was just released like in Glasgow or one of the big cities, and then at video, and then that's when you saw it and it was like, wow, this is so satirical. This is so about the 80s in America and so about Reaganism and Thatcherism and all that greed. It's just wonderful, and it's an epitome of what you'd want from an 80s video shop, because a lot of 80s video shop stuff had satirical stuff. You'd get films like spaghetti westerns from the old time, the finally put in video, and you get these political messages on them, and you get a lot of like anti-Thatcherite films coming out in video that barely got a release. But this was the one. This was like, they got American money to make a film about, you know, this. American greed. Now, Alex Cox did that with Walker as well, but I barely got released after the being blacklisted. This is a film that actually got released and kept going and kept making money for them. So they had to keep on releasing it, even though it was taking Mickey out of their whole concept of capitalism. It's wonderful. It's just great. And it's epitome of this kind of era. So I hope you enjoyed this list. I hope that it was fun. And that's me, apart from the best of stuff. So hope you enjoyed the videos this year. I'm out for now, but I will be doing those best of things. But apart from that, I'm just going to have a holiday at home with my feet up. Bye.